Angel Michael in them. So what they did was, when they sent this purple disc, because I'm sitting in the chair one night, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, you know, I'm delighted that, you know, you coming through. I said, but y'all was the niggas that threw us up out of heaven. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, you the one that cast us. If you really know the story is actually talking about us. We go into question and answer and clarify the stuff up. But the story was talking about us. Because to be bound, they said, was bound for 1,000 years and cast down, which you fell into physical bodies. So we are the fallen angels. You see what I'm saying? We are the fallen angels. When you talk about the fallen angels shut up in a pit, they're talking about the ones that is falling into a physical body. But that's all a part of the spirit thing, because what happened is that our DNA had to transform the whole universe. So to go into this thing, I was in the chair one night and I said, wait a minute, all this Raphael, and I said, y'all the niggas that cast us out. And they said, hell, we need your light. We need your light. I said, oh, I get it. I said, I wondered why the purple plate, you get these purple plates and people have them for years. I got one and turned 2 of them silver. And what they was doing, they was coming in and they was taking my energy, the light from my energy, and sucking it so they could get strong. Meanwhile, it's a symbiotic relationship. Now this is not a warfare. This is what has to happen. Meanwhile, as a result of them getting our energy, they bring back the energy that they have. They got energy that we need to survive on the physical. We got energy that was dormant in us that's now this new light that they need to transform themselves to get to the one. So, to get to the level. So, all the Orishas, all the Loas, all the Nettas, everybody has now transformed themselves. And the last people to do it was the Archangel. So what's happening here is, they're coming, but as a result, because they work with humanity, and as a result, what is happening here is, they are able to help us. They are able to help us more than what probably the Orishas was, because the Orishas took you had to do a lot of sacrifice to give them energy so that they could help you in return. As a result, what they need now is our light, and they help us also. So it's a symbiotic relationship of the angelic celestial DNA family is what this thing is. So that's why they have come through, but by this being a symbiotic relationship, you see, you give some, they get some, they need to be sucked into this realm of light. But the light now is radiating from us. You see what I'm saying? It's radiating from us. It's just that they have enough magical powers, because they've been running the universe, that they can instantly help us. And so, in so many words, what this thing is, it's nothing but a DNA ladder of us evolving into these higher beings. Now, this is the key. They told me the other night that as a result, this is some beautiful shit going on here now. You can't think of this as no fairy tale, because we've been locked in this for a minute. This is what they said the other night. They are here to raise us up to a higher level. But this is how it works. But they need our light that's in us, because our light is the one that's powerful, because it's been dormant for millions of years, and it has cultivated and has transformed in an alchemical process until we have the new light. And so they need our light to empower them. Thus, they have the energy to raise us up. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's in the book of the Piece of Sophia, where they say there's a man on earth, and all the angelic powers going to have to bow down to this man's light. But he is a man just like you. They're not talking about man, they're talking about humanity. You see, the male and female. Remember now, we're talking about an androgynous process. They say when the two are made one, that's when it comes. So when they say the two are made one, that means when you polarize your male and your female half polarizes, that's when it happens. That's the androgyny. There's a book called Androgyny by June Singer. And they say basically what's going to happen here, alchemically, this shit going to come back to one. What happened was, a part of the fall with these archangels, with us, how they actually made us fall so we couldn't rise again, we used to be these androgynous beings. And as a result of these androgynous beings, in order to get us so that we wouldn't rise, they split us in half. And so basically we've been spending the majority of our life looking for our own half. So when you look at that female, you're actually looking at what used to be a part of your own whole. And when you like the characteristics in the male, you are actually gravitating towards something that used to be a part of your own whole. You see what I'm saying? That's in a book, it's explained in Plato's Corruption also. And they go into how they say we can stop them from climbing up, we'll polarize both of them. So what's happening here, we talk about an androgynous energy coming back together. You have a spirit, you have a male self, and you have a female self. And when that's polarized, when the two are made one, you go back. So what's happening now here is with these archangels is, they need your light.
Right.
But it's no different than what we used to do in the Yoruba thing. You get in the blood, and they feed from the blood, in the voodoo or whatever you, and as a result they get enough power to help you in your physical life. Well, these angelic things, when these angelic beings, they need your light. And as a result of needing your light, they help raise you up. You get into this symbiotic relationship. They have the power to raise us up because all it is angles of light. It's nothing but alchemical formulas in our own body. So what we're really talking about is not necessarily something outside of yourself. It's you and it's within you. It's just that they need a part of your light. A part of yourself need a part of your other self to raise yourself up. Anybody getting this? You see what I'm saying? This is what this lover's card is. This is a great example. You got the two lovers. You got Raphael presiding over them. You got the two lovers. These two lovers actually represent two androgynous halves coming back together. And when the two are made one, he gets the light, and as a result, he raised them up.
All right.
As a result, you are actually raising him up. When they came to me the other night, they said, hell, we need your light. But if we're talking about beyond ego, beyond dualism, and beyond anger, and beyond blame, if you're talking about the spirit world, there is no blame, there is no bitterness. This is a process that had to happen. It had to happen in the beginning. It had to happen in the beginning. Whatever we had in the beginning was a flawed process of creation. But in order to make that flawed process perfect, we had to go into the most crude form of physical living, or physical on the physical level, so that we could sift and graft out that flawed piece, never to fall again, because the flawed piece is out. It's the perfect light. This is the whole Christ concept. You see, this is the whole Christ concept. You see, so as a result, this is the coming together of it. So perfect now, until now, you can explain this to the average Christian, because all of them know about them archangels. You see, Lynn was on the phone with the 80-year-old, she wasn't getting none of this. I heard about that purple disc and healed your father. She said it came from Raphael. She said, what? Well, I know about Raphael. I know about them archangels. Got it. You see what I'm saying? That's how this thing goes. So we talk, so now they have come and they have broken through. They have broken through. It's a breakthrough. And as a result, this is what's happening. You got Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Michael. You have Baron Samedi, and Baron Samedi is a Saturn energy that's getting ready to be transformed this summer by a god named, or an archangel called Raphael. And that's the one. The sister Ella got this, and so the sister Ella she said the angel came through Raphael. We looked at some books. I called her Sister Kimberly right here, and she pulled down some stuff. And then Ella had another dream, and Raphael came and pulled down some stuff. And as a result, this thing is coming through this summer. It's coming through right at the time when they cut on this doggone cable, digital thing. You see what I'm saying? So what is this that's coming through? This Raphael, you know how to spell that Raphael. Let me see if I got that dictionary. Raphael. He's also a form of Orpheus. Orpheus. And Orpheus is a form of Dionysus, and Dionysus is a form of Osiris. So this is the return of Osiris. Osiris is also called Lazarus. You get Lazarus, you know that whole Lazarus is Osiris. That's one of the things that didn't fall away. It was closer to the word Osiris. It's Lazarus. You heard of Lazarus. Now there's a Raphael. Raphael, they don't say much on him in this book, but they got a hell of a piece on him on the internet. Let me see, I might have that. Let me see, I might have it in my notes. Y'all all right?
Oh yeah.
This stuff is coming, but the thing about it here is Raphael, one of the same seven great archangels. I want you to, so you can spell the name. O-R-I-P-H-I-E-L. O-R-I-P-H-I-E-L. Raphael. Now, let me see if I got this notes. I got some notes on this cat, and he is coming. Now, I'm going to tell you what he is. Okay. Raphael, Archangel Raphael, is coming from the 10th ray of divine initiation. We said that those discs, the purple disc, is coming from the 9th dimension, the purple plate. He's coming from the 10th dimension and stuff. See, this is the beautiful part about this, which I understand this now. Just like that movie Minority Report was very key because it was all based on one woman. That's why they had the Oracle in the Matrix. That's another thing. This is the 10th anniversary of the Matrix. You gotta admit that was the first one. The one that's supposed to be written by a sister was one of the greatest movies of the entire 20th century. And they went out with a fucking bang. Now they fell short on the other two, although I don't know that dance scene in that second one. You see, but and a lot of women say when he stuck his hand up in her and pulled that bullet out, women say, "Oh shit." A lot of women are like, "Oh, I felt that." But it's one of the greatest movies of the 20th century, and his name was Morpheus, and you got Orpheus. And you know, Neo will be played by Will Smith, but he dropped the ball on that for Wild Wild West. And he never played it down. Everything he does now is sci-fi. As a matter of fact, he getting ready to do one now called the Pharaoh. Right. It's called the Pharaoh. It's got another. But it's the Pharaoh. He getting ready to do the Pharaoh. Will Smith is the 10th ray of divine illumination. The archangel Raphael comes to this local universe in many millenniums, disguising himself as a service as an archangel, and another local universe always aligned with divine will, divine harmony, divine authority, divine love, divine light, divine power. In so many words, this Raphael here is the same as a god called Kalki. Kalki is the last incarnation of Vishnu. He's also called Maitreya, the last incarnation of Buddha, called a future Buddha. Kalki, now this is interesting because there was a brother in here a few minutes ago. He didn't say his name is, he called himself, he used to call himself Om. I think he goes back by, what's his regular name? Roland. Anyway, very vain stuff that happened. What happened was this. he and a guy by the name of Sri Charles, they started going out to some East Indian temple. And something happened. I don't know what it was. He told me what it was. It was all on the news. The news people fronted on these people, maybe call them a cult or some kind of thing. Anyway, people started falling away from the temple. Roland and the brother Sri Charles started taking their group and going out to the temple. And as a result, the people that was over the East Indian temple was like, yo, y'all come on in. You can use the temple on such and such a days. All right, now check this out. The brother Panic that was up in New York was working in, he's a computer programmer or what have you, Microsoft. They had a group of East Indians that came to New York to get trained in this Microsoft. And he was one of the people training them. So they were training, and so he said they didn't have a relationship with nobody. He said, so he started going up to them and started talking about the East Indian gods, Lakshmi, Shiva, Vishnu. Oh, you know this? So they gravitated towards him and started giving him all this particular information. So they looked at him and said, there's a prophecy. There's a prophecy that there are going to be some black people in the West that is one of the keys to the prophecies of India. They knew of this prophecy. They weren't really clear on it. But what happened was, when the people down here, Roland and Sri Charles, started going to this temple and start doing their own thing with the Agahota on certain nights, the people right here in Atlanta, the East Indian people, phoned back to India and said, yo, we got these niggas down here that's into this stuff, and we think they might be the ones that last along prophecy. So as a result, they had an East Indian man that got on a plane because they got this prophecy that there's going to be somebody that come from a certain sect in India, and they're supposed to come to the West and announce the rise of the god Kalki. But they were supposed to come to the West and announce it for a group of black people in the West. Just like Afghanistan and Pakistan had celebrations in 1999 celebrating the rise of a group of black gods in the West. And after that, they blew up the big statue of Buddha. And the next thing you know, the Taliban and all of this stuff, and the next thing you know, we in war in Pakistan and Afghanistan. But those are the people who were celebrating in 1999 the rise of gods in the United States, in the West, in America. They were talking about us. So there was a prophecy in India that there was supposed to be a group of black people that was supposed to rise up in India. And they said once those people rose up in this prophecy, there was supposed to be a man come to the West to announce the arrival of the god Kalki. So in September of 2008, because I had to go to a lecture, it was in October of 2008, I had to go to a lecture in Detroit. They had a man, because Sri Charles and them took over this temple out here somewhere, and once they took this temple over, the man said, hey, we got some black people that's in here doing this Agnihotra, and they done took over this whole Hindu temple. As a result, on October, this East Indian flew to Atlanta and announced the rise of Kalki. Kalki is supposed to come to the United States. He's supposed to come, and he's the rider of the white horse, which is nothing but the pineal gland. It's all inside of you. Kalki is nothing but your pineal gland. But he's supposed to rise up. But Kalki is also this angel Raphael that's coming this summer. But they say if you look for him to come out of the sky, you'll find nothing of the sort. It is from the spiritual eye that he will return. That's why of you got to transcend longing to get these knucklehead niggas down here to be with. And you need to go on that spiritual realm and just start getting busy with the ancestors and these angelic powers. And get your freak on. I've been there. I know what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? It's much more advanced. You see what I'm saying? And this way you can have the best of both worlds. You see what I'm saying? Your husband can't get jealous of no ghosts. But this might be the ghostest with the mostest. On that spirit thing. There's a book, like I said, this woman wrote this book, and she's hitting on something, but she still has it mostly in the physical. But she's saying it's called Transcendent Sex. When Love Making Opens the Veil by Jenny Wade, J-E-N-N-Y, Wade, W-A-D-E, Ph.D. She's hitting on it in here. She's just a couple of decimals back, but she's saying that all the signs line up. Even when you're having sex physically, there's a whole spiritual realm that's involved. So she's tapping into it, but what it is you're supposed to go on to that next level. You see what I'm saying? Because you should just get tired of that same old. I just don't even have the damn. I'm just lazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to set the damn mood. You know, or some shit like that. No, let me get some cars. But what it is the longing of the cosmic stuff. Now this ain't no player hating on Linda. She was the first one to start going into this realm before me, so you see what I'm saying? But we there now. You see what I'm saying? So something gotta change. You see, no matter how good it is, you see what I'm saying? It's still familiar and we need some new territory. Okay, good, yeah, okay, good. We need some new territory. So anyway, but this book, Transcendent Sex by Jenny Wade, Ph.D., she's getting to it in here, and all, but it's dealing with that on that particular level. Now, let me go into a few things on this. Y'all all right? Yeah. Let me go into a few things, and we're going to get a little question and answer, but I want to get down with this first. Okay. This is the God Hemmitt. Okay, this is the God Hemmitt. This is the God who saved Barack Obama's life. This is the God, he saved Barack Obama's life the other day. What happened was they was going to kill Barack Obama. What they did was they invited him to Mexico at a summit. So they infected this guy with the swine flu, a viral strain of it, and he was all hooked up with Obama and shaking his hand and all. And 2 days after Obama left, this guy dies. And the swine flu breaks out in Mexico and kills over 100 people, but it's a different swine flu than the one in America. The one in America, they put that one out, that's a regular flu that Rumsfeld, who was over the Pentagon or whatever, Rumsfeld got rich off of because he's over Tamiflu. You see, Rumsfeld is the one who invented the high fructose corn syrup that got everybody on diabetes. You see what I'm saying? Just got everybody on the whole with the diabetes thing. That's Rumsfeld in there. It's Alzheimer's disease. So Rumsfeld is over Tamiflu, and they got paid. Tamiflu knocked it out in 24 hours. Different strain than the one that was in Mexico. The one in Mexico was a germ warfare to kill Obama. But what had happened was Obama had gone to Trinidad a week before and met with Chavez. And over in Trinidad has one of the biggest statues of the god Hanuman, the Monkey King that's worshipped all over the world in Asia, except here, I'm going to say all over the world. The Monkey King, which is the god Hanuman. Because Trinidad has a combination of East Indian and black people that came together. You see what happened was Trinidad was ruled over by the British. So what the British used to do when they had black people there, they would send the East Indians in because they made them all British And they would come in and they would be the overseers over the black people. But what happened was over the years, the East Indian women started marrying the black men. And as a result, they have a whole race of black people that also knows about East Indian traditions like the Diwali festival, which is the worship of Lakshmi. But they have a big old East Indian statue of Hemmitt over there. Now, Barack Obama used to live in Indonesia. In Indonesia, they worship the monkey king, Hemmitt. And they even got a political party that's after this magical text called the Ramayana, which is Hanuman's story. And they got a political party that's over there that deal with the Ramayana. Barack Obama being in Indonesia when he was a child, everybody learns about the monkey king. So as a result, he has a Hanuman on a charm bracelet. They showed it on the internet, and he also has a Hanuman tattooed on him. So when he went over to Trinidad, he was fortified by this God. You see what I'm saying? By this God. And this God, get the movie, there's a movie called Monkey King. Came out on NBC a couple of years, but also get the, what's the one with Jackie Chan and Jet Li? Forbidden Kingdom. Jet Li is playing the Monkey King. And stuff. That's Hanuman. That's Hanuman. Now the story of Hanuman is pure melanin. That's what this stuff is about. It's pure melanin. When Hanuman is born, he is raised up, he tried to grab the sun. Later on, when he became a teenager or a young adult, he went to the sun, to show you this remarkable story, and the sun taught him the knowledge of science, art, mathematics, music, drama, the arts. And it also taught him the occult science. Well, in that case, but if the sun taught him the occult science, then what is Hanuman? Hanuman is nothing but a hieroglyphic or a symbol of melanin. Melanin has everything in it, but it is taught by the sun. Remember I said Maurice Cotterell book, Tutankhamun Prophecy said, whenever they want you to rise up, the sun will shoot a ray in your civilization, and your civilization rises. And when there was time for another civilization to rise, the ray leaves your civilization and your civilization falls. So Hanuman is taught by the sun. Melanin strives from the sun, because we are the people of the sun. And as a result, the monkeys in Asia, they're real sporadic. They never stop moving around. Melanin in your body never stops moving around. It never stops moving around. So after, to show you this is melanin, after he is trained by the sun called, what's the sun name? Surya, the sun god. After he's trained by the sun, he said, how can I repay you? The sun said, he said, just watching you learn, all there was to learn in the universe is payment enough. He said, no, I got to repay you for teaching me this. Hanuman told him. He said, okay. He said, when you get to my son, when you get to my son called Sagriva, look after my son. You remember the movie? So his son lives in the monkey kingdom. You remember the movie Prophecy? What's it called? The Prophecy with Christopher Walken? What did they call the humans? Monkeys. He said, look after my son, which meant you are melanin. I train you. You are everything. When you get down to the human kingdom, which they call the monkey kingdom in heaven, that's what they call it in prophecies. When you get down there, look after my son. What is Surya's son, Sagriva? He's humanity. He's the black race. So how do you look after your son? You are melanin and you are inside of the black race. And so through the melanin and all that I have taught you from the sun, and through the sun, you strive through melanin. So melanin is a form of melanin. You see what I'm saying? You know, but it's also a spirit which saved Barack Obama's life, because Barack Obama worships this spirit. As a matter of fact, they even said on Bill Maher last night, they don't even believe this nigga believe in no religion. He said that shit to get elected. Because every time he turns around, he always includes the atheists. But if it's anything, if he got a tattoo and a charm bracelet, he's into Hemmitt in them. So it's a spirit, but it's also symbolic of Melinin also. Okay, so give me some questions and answers right quick so we can, yeah, what's that?
What's the significance of 2012?
Okay. Okay, 2012 is happening as we speak. 2012 is a cycle more than it is a time period. So the Mayans had to put a time because the simple fact, that's how we operate on the human world, based on time. But in the spirit world, time is also cycles. So 2012 could have been 2001, based on these questions. But we do know it's a 2012 cycle. There is a tape called Secrets of Alchemy by Jay Weidner. Secrets of Alchemy by Jay Weidner. And in his thing, he said that he had learned, been in there a couple of years, married to another woman called Sharon Rose. And she got out a hell of a tape called something of the Goddess, The Path of the Goddess. But because she's a white girl, a lot of sisters didn't gravitate towards her. But if you see this woman movement, you know this is the only way you can move like that is you got some melanin when she get in this trance stuff. But anyway, we couldn't get a damn tape away. And she got some powerful stuff she tapping into. But anyway, she's married to Jay Weidner. Jay Weidner got a tape called Secrets of Alchemy. I'll pass out some tape lists because you can get these things from me also. But Secrets of Alchemy. And in this tape, he says, look, we have to look at this as a 2012 season or a cycle. Because that's why you're going to miss out by just looking for this date. Because the spirit world don't happen that way. It happens in cycles, and it happens in a series of events that's happening simultaneously. So we're in the 2012 cycle. And that's more important. You see, probably if you get to that date, you'll probably be disappointed like Y2K. Like 12-12, 1994, they have a 12-12 thing. So they always got these dates, but things always happen within those dates. It's just that we look at them as dates and we miss out on trying to see what the cycle is. Mm-hmm. This little boy right here that come up and show you some pictures of some stuff he drew in this lecture today, that's a 2012 event. But you're trying to look for a date. Why? Let me tell you something now. You know the damn TV don't never give you shit. They got 4 shows on the History Channel on 2012. Anytime the TV start giving you shit, they already know. We don't really teach them nothing that's going to go off like that. We always keep them distracted. So you're looking at the date and the 2012 is happening now. So that's what that's about. Give me some more questions. What's that, brother? Yeah. Yeah.
The purple plate.
Yeah, purple plate. Yeah.
Okay. I read somewhere that in the angelic realm of the angelic beings,
Yeah.
that their auras are purple.
That's right.
So when they come here, it's green, but where they come from is actually purple.
It's purple, right? But exactly. See.
When you brought up that the girl was squeezed and disappeared.
Right. Yeah.
It made you think about the last dance of X-Men.
The what?
The movie The X-Men. The last
Yeah.
dance, when they had Mystic locked up, and they called about an English name. She said, "I don't answer to my slave name."
Right. Yeah. Right. They was talking. That whole X-Men is all about us. Even, do you know Stan Lee who did the X-Men? You ever heard the story how he came up with that? He came up with the X-Men. He said he studied Martin Luther King in the Malcolm X series in the 1960s. And he said, right. So he said he came up with the X-Men based on the civil rights movement in the Nation of Islam. So that whole thing wasn't nothing but the black people, you know. Like Martin Luther King said, no, we got to be accepting. And Malcolm X saying, no, separate. And that's all it was. Magneto was Malcolm X and Professor X was Martin Luther King. Or with a yellow. You see what I'm saying? And he said it. He said, I got it from that. That's why, look, let me show you another thing. Get the movie Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. In 1973, these people stepped to 20th Century Fox and said, we want to do a movie on the Watts riots because this would be the 10-year anniversary from 1963. They said, hell no. We ain't doing it. Get out of here. So what happened was, the same guys came back in 75 and they had gotten the contract to do Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. And they said, hey, guess what? The Watts riot and all that stuff that went down, we can make it, we can take the same script that we wrote for Conquest for the LA riots and put it in the movie Conquest for the Planet of the Apes. It's a movie all about the doggone LA. I got the tape where the guy is saying this stuff on the introduction of the 25-year anniversary of the Planet of the Apes that came out in the 90s. He said, yo, we can take the script of the LA riots and put it in there. So they always doing stuff like that. You see.